Says we're live. We are live. My goodness. It is Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's a dumpster fire. That's what it means. And it's always a dumpster fire, especially when it's me and Tree. But this is a special dumpster fire because this week we have our resident Twitter tweeper, Jillian Fisher. Everyone is here. Jillian, say hi to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
All right, let me turn this down a little bit, and then I'll let everyone see my face. So you guys have to see my face, unfortunately. You don't get to see Jillian's face, but there I am. But you see Gritty in the background. Yes.
No.
I'm here to take your dreams and your souls and all that stuff.
Your children.
Yep. Tree, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man.
All right.
Can't really complain otherwise. Good
Awesome.
shit. Apparently, we're supposed to get a lot of snow over here tonight, so.
Yeah, we're supposed
fun.
to get an icing. Kids are already 2 hours
delayed.
So.
Yeah, they're treating it. It's like supposed to be a rumor of that up here too. So.
Wow. You don't have to go to school tomorrow, Tree.
No school.
Whippersnapper.
It's too bad. I was trying to learn about fucking trigonometry.
That's right.
I had my lunch packed and everything.
I failed that class so quickly. I was like,
I don't think I ever took trig. I think it was just like our math thing was weird. It was just like they had like integrated and it was just like scattered and it was weird.
yeah, I wasn't good at the maths. I'm only half Asian, so it didn't work out that way.
Lazy as shit.
All right,
let
let me lay down the rules for tonight. I see that there are already Snapchats, like a shit ton of them, by the way, which is beautiful. I cannot believe that you guys want to give us money to read what you say.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
But we're gonna talk to Jillian a little bit, break and read some Snapper chats, and then talk to Jillian some more about hockey, and then break and read some Snapper chats, and then it'll just be a complete mess. But Jillian, so
Hi.
You just got back from like Nashville. How was that?
I did. I was just in Nashville. Nashville's always a party. It's always a good time there. I feel like if you have a bad time in Nashville, it's because you're looking for it. So, and I have a cold now, so that should tell you. Like, when you go so hard that you get sick, you know?
Yeah, that was like a week ago, so it's kind of hitting you late, wouldn't you say?
It is. I mean, well, so I had like a little bit of a thing last week, and I was really cranky about it, and then I started feeling better this weekend. And then today I was at the gym and I felt like I was dying. So, and now I have like a full-fledged cold, like a runny nose and everything. So it just like, it took its time getting here. It took its grand old time. So
yeah, it's not a good thing to exercise when you're sick, actually. I'm the biggest baby on earth when it comes to being sick. Like, I just want to be left alone, and then I whine like a little child. I'm just like, oh, I'm sick.
You're not alone. I feel like a lot of people are like that. And that's how I am, if anything stomach related. But like everything else, I can handle it. If the moment I hear somebody has a stomach related thing, I become like an FBI detective. I'm like, okay, when did you start feeling sick? All right, what did you eat? Because I need to know if I'm within like a range of possibly getting sick. So.
Right. Did you have the chicken or the salmon? And you
Exactly.
just have to know, right?
Yes. And like, when did you eat it? Was it like last night? Was it earlier today? I have to know these details.
Right. Because I want to know if I'm going to be spending the next 3 hours on a toilet. I just have to know these type of things. So you took in the NWHL, the women's professional game. Were you like officially there on their behalf, or how did that work?
I was not. No, I went, I always say like, I like to support the women's game. So given the chance to support it on my own, I wanted to do that. And I always look for excuses to go places. And I had a bunch of miles. So I was like, let's go to Nashville. Let's have a party in Nashville. Like, I knew it'd be fun to go there. And like, I thought it'd be a really fun way to experience women's hockey because I've been to a couple games locally. So, the timing worked out well with them having a game beforehand. And wanted to, I know a couple people out there, so it worked out well.
I think the women's game is awesome. Honestly, they play good, smart, technical hockey, and like they're just it's interesting. It's a good game to watch. Like, and I think I'm glad that someone's actually raising awareness for the women's game because, man, when you get up at the really high levels, like the Olympic hockey, those girls go
so
at
fun.
it. Yeah.
And like sometimes I get the argument. People say that like don't let them check. Like we hear all these bad things about head injuries, but like think about that USA Canada game in the Olympics. Like those girls, you could tell they wanted to go all out, and I don't know. It was kind of a bummer to me that like they can't because that would have been so fun because you could tell they hate each other. Like you can just feel it. Even they're in Korea. I'm on my couch in Boston, and I can feel the hatred. That's how much they hate each other.
Yeah. They're tossing insults at her, at each other, calling them maple syrup, chugging Canadian biatches. That's right.
And they're just like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's right. Every Canadian stereotype. And then
sorry.
So,
that's terrible. I shouldn't like go into that. That's a terrible stereotype.
You don't need to apologize. This is the dumpster fire. It's appropriately named. We can go at anybody we want here, especially like Don Cherry, if we want.
Oh, I like to rip at that. So
was that a dog barking in the background? Did I hear some intense dog barking?
Yeah, my pugs. They're like I'm in a room like closed off. And they probably heard the wind blow, and so they decided they wanted to bark. So.
That's right. One of them apparently gets huge erections, by the way.
He still to this day does. Like, it's to the point. Again, so if people don't know this, I have two pugs, and the one, his penis was so large, I thought he had an infection, and like I was like, he might just have an erection. But I'm like, no, his penis was like quadruple the size, and he was humping my other dog. This is the day in my life is just my dogs humping each other all the time. And
are they both boys?
I looked at, they're both boys. Oh yeah, they're constantly humping each other. They need to get neutered. So I look over and like it looked infected. I'll just leave it at that. And so I take him to the vet, and the vet just kind of like embarrassed to say it. She like whispers it to me. She was like, I think he just has massive erections. And I was like, this is more embarrassing than when my parents had a talk with me. Honestly, this is peak my life right now.
And this is the peak of the dumpster fire, by the way. We're talking about
this is going on the highlight reel.
Yeah, we're talking about dogs, male dogs doing each other.
Dog.
Yep. I think
the dumpster fire is a good time, guys.
I can just log off now. I can just get off.
Our show's done. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next
way
week.
Different. That's what they were given.
Dog penises and all types of stuff. Actually, it was getting hot. I had to take off my little sweater vest.
I think we have some ideas. It's okay, Adam. It's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Just don't act on the urge.
Who's Adam? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Everyone knows my name. It's one of those nights already. We're starting with the... Okay. That's become a trope, by the way, Jillian. So then, did you end up on Broadway, like drunk as shit, like at the stage or one of the nightclubs that's down there?
So I ended up on Broadway with a microphone and a camera. And this sounds really dirty. It's not. It's just I wanted to do a video, and I decided to go around asking people if they knew popular NHL names or like NHL superstars. And the fun thing about Broadway is that everyone's ready for a good time. Like everyone's ready to party. Like at some point I took a shot of Fireball, and it was like not even lunchtime, I don't think, when I did that. So that was fun. And like I'm too old, so I had heartburn. Like that's how old I am. But it's always fun in Nashville, and I feel like if you go, like it's the perfect spot to do that kind of question, like man on the street questions, because everyone, like I'm so used to doing that, and people being like, no, thanks, or just like walking straight past me in New York or Boston, like giving me the finger as I ask them.
Right.
But on Broadway in Nashville, everyone was like, yeah, put a camera in front of my face. So it was a great time. I had fun so much. I laughed so hard making that video.
Yeah, I saw it. It was brilliant. I like the Duck Dynasty one, whereas Duck Dynasty or NHL. I've been to Nashville. It's a good time. I saw Reese Witherspoon on the street there.
Did you really?
Yeah. She's about.
Did you say hi?
She's
Reese, I love you.
She was filming some like exterior shots. She was walking into a record store and coming out, like, and that was the extent of me seeing her. From
your best friends is what you're saying.
BFFs forever. Actually, one night in Nashville, me and a bunch of coworkers, we decided to be other people. I think I was an airline pilot that night.
It's a great city to do that kind of stuff in.
Yes. You can be NASCAR pit crew if they're in town. Like, that'll get you some attention. Motorcycle driver. Yep.
Did you give yourself a Southern accent?
I did, I was just real into it. Everything, being down Nashville, hanging out at the stage. That was a crazy night, though. That, like, well, if you think going out on the...
It's a dumpster fire. You can say it.
Right. Well, I mean, women were taking their tops off and showing me their stuff, and I was like, okay, this is Nashville. All right.
This makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about like how crazy it got after I was there for the Stanley Cup final. And it was the day they clinched to go into the Stanley Cup final. And that's about the time when I called it, like when people were getting naked. And I was like, listen, guys, it's like too late. I probably had like, again, why do I always drink Fireball in Nashville? I always have too much Fireball when I'm there. And that's about the time I called it quits, was when people started showing me things. And I was like, I think I'm good. I think I need to go home and drink some water.
Yep. Tree, have you ever been to Nashville?
I had never have.
Wow, you gotta go.
I hear it's a good time.
Yeah,
Trust
maybe.
Me, I've heard they've done a lot of great things over the past like 20 years or so.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that weekend. Like, we'll go see a game in Nashville, and like a Titans game or something, and then I'll show you the joys of hanging out on Broadway. And
well, I mean, you've got to go for the right bars. I mean, it's not hard. You probably have live music in every bar.
Dude, there's this thing called busking. They call it busking, where it's just any amateur, I guess, or aspiring musician just grabs a street corner and starts playing. And they're like concert level musicians that, are either between gigs or tough breaks, but they're all fucking good. And you're just like,
you probably get a bunch of guys coming in for the country music scene. So I bet you probably that scene's really competitive.
What's her name? Gretchen Wilson. She was like a bartender at one of the bars down there, and then she like slept with some guy's famous some country artist who was married at the time. So anyways, there's your Nashville gossip for you. All right, let's read some Snapchats because they're starting to accumulate, and we'll get through these. And this is usually what the show is like, Jillian.
Yeah, like literally, it's just we drive through the wind.
Yeah, they make us monkey around.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But we do cover all sports. We can't be selfish and talk about hockey. Okay.
Damn it! I want to talk about
other sports too. For the record. I'm going to throw that out there. I didn't need to be sad about it for some reason.
Right, but I mean, hockey is awesome. So let's get through these real quick. Let's nail these right here. Yeah. Fly Latour for 99 cents. Thank you. All right. You get the next one.
Give me 1 second here. I got to grab this shit. My internet wouldn't go so goddamn slow.
It's called Foreshadow.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, I have too many tabs open. James Ellie for $2. Just take my money. Thank you, sir.
That's right.
It's a little too much.
All right. Don't spend it all at one strip club, okay? Tucker White, 94. As a tradition, $6.66. Neither I nor FPV nor Tree picked the winner of Sunday's Daytona 500. I picked Joey Logano, and he finished 4th, by the way. We're here.
Who picked Denny Hamlin?
We're to be put into the stocks in the public square for insert time.
I don't know if it's sad. I did not give a shit about the Daytona 500 this year.
I watched a lot of it. Unfortunately, it took like an hour to do the last 7 laps because they kept.
Yeah, because there was a huge wreck again. That was the big one.
There was one point where I think the entire track was on fire, which was great.
That sounds about right. That sounds like NASCAR right now.
Yeah. But it was a good race, man. It ended. Denny Hamlin. So Joe Gibbs, whose son died, I believe, 2-3 months ago, finished 1-2-3 at Joe
Jeez.
Gibbs. Since we're talking about the South, right? Mm-hmm. I'm from Alabama. I know how it is. All right, you got the next one, Tree?
Yes, sir. I do have it here.
Eli,
Mr. James, Mr. Beast of Metal.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, no,
Liwa 503.
Okay, I got it now. Lua 503. Sorry, I'm a little ahead of myself. My bad. For $5 whole, what I thought would divide the NHL: contracts, lockouts, and expansion. What is actually dividing the NHL? The hurricane storm surge.
Yes.
It's only dividing if you're like an old school guy from like the 60s and 70s who gets still pissy about goalies wearing helmets.
So you're Don Cherry, basically. Right.
That's pretty much
Brian
Don
Burke.
Cherry.
Yeah.
And Brian Burke.
Brian Burke doesn't like it either. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
Did you
Just a bunch of
Did you see
old
his
guys.
son? Did you see what his son did?
no. I did not see
So
what
so his son, I guess, reached out to one of the athletic writers and was like, "Listen, if we raise some money, or I forget how it all transpired, but he was like, I will give my dad the Bunch of Jerks shirt." And like there was a charity, they raised like thousands of dollars for the You Can Play project. Like a really great thing came out of it. But I appreciate the fact that Brian Burke's son was like, I can be petty and give this to my dad.
Nice. How old is his son?
I think everyone in America and Canada that has a soul would agree with that.
Wait, was it Brian? No, it wasn't Brian Burke's son, because I might have misspoke there. Was it Patrick? Yeah,
Patrick Burke.
Like,
I think
somebody
it was.
related to Burke was like, I'm gonna give him this shirt. I might have misspoke about who it was, but
I think it's hilarious, and I'm counting the days for when you actually get your Bunch of Jerks shirt, and
I'm so excited.
It's featured in a video. You know.
Oh, it is 100% going to be featured in a video. That is now my Carolina gear. I don't need anything else. I just need the Bunch of Jerks.
Right. I think a good video would be you just sipping wine in the Bunch of Jerks shirt, just saying things just to trigger Don Cherry.
So that was actually one of the ideas I had, was just like making fun of the old versus new in hockey, and just kind of, I wasn't going to sip wine, but I actually liked this version of it better because it feels pettier, and I like to be petty. So I like where this is going now.
Yes. I think it's going to be great. I think just you wearing the Bunch of Jerks shirt will make it, because as soon as you see it, you're just going to be like, all right, I know she's going to say something funny. She has to say something funny. It's not.
And I'm going to piss off a lot of people too, because let me tell you, you guys know the internet. People get really mad about
People get pissed off if you mispronounce something or just like say something they think is wrong, dude. You're gonna get that wherever you go.
I got shit.
Oh yeah. So it's just, I feel like on Twitter it's amplified for some reason. Like it's so intense. But
have
also,
you read your
YouTube's bad,
YouTube
too.
comments? Like what?
Yeah, no, that's why did you scare me? I was like, wait, hold on, I take it back. I take it back.
I did a video on all the NHL mascots, and I got shit. Like 200 comments was, you misspelled San Jose. Like, I called them the Sna Jose Sharks, and that was number one comment.
But like, obviously you do, like when you posted it, you like, okay, like shit, I made a mistake. But man, people
don't forgive. There's no forgiveness. All right, let's go to Tucker White,
course.
who, by the way,
sorry guys, I keep making this bad.
No,
don't worry. We do it all the time. You're good.
We make it bad on our own.
Like, we ramble for like hours on end about one topic. So don't worry, Jillian. You're good.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But sometimes we talk about hockey in the middle of baseball season, and people get all pissed about that. But this is how it works. Okay. Tucker White for $2. Since the last show, the Knicks finally won a game. The Knicks are complete garbage, and it just. I cannot, like I said, maybe I'm like this close to auctioning off my fandom for the Knicks. I might donate half to charity or something. Like, we should just have a super chat game where whoever the highest bidder gets to pick my team, because I hate the Knicks. They're just.
Well, it's because James Dolan cannot run a team worth a damn, and he always gets sensitive and hissy-pissy when somebody calls him out in his shit.
He's putting
It's like-
out feelers for offers, by the way, that he wants to sell the Knicks,
Good.
but not the
He
Rangers.
should have left a while ago. Now he can go make shitty house bands and
Yeah.
feature at MSG because it's the only thing he's got.
He's not bad as a Rangers owner. He just, but
Rangers, he just stays out of the way. He doesn't give a shit.
yeah.
For the
His
Knicks,
dad-
he's like in there though.
Yeah, the Knicks can't escape the spotlight of suck either.
Never.
The spotlight of suck. I feel like there's a lot of really fun topics that you could go with, like the spotlight of suck. That's great. I like that.
I mean,
word.
that's
that phrasing.
That's Tree's entire YouTube channel, right?
The spotlight
pretty
of
much.
suck.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's just like I don't know. It gets interesting. It's still interesting after a while.
Failure is what.
I have a morbid fascination with the suck.
Train wrecks are fun, watching things crumble and be terrible. Like, you can't look away.
Of course. It's like
human nature.
I learned from deep exposure watching the Pirates for 20 years of dog shit. So I have some understanding of morbid fascination with how awful things can get.
Yeah, my channel has one angle, and that's cruelty, and people love it. It's what made American Idol, and so here I am. All right, can you read this next one, James Amadei?
Oh, yes, sir. And it's a big topic because San Diego is going all in again for the Padres. Every Dodger fan is freaking out right now because they have no pitching, and the Padres are probably going to tear apart their bullpen. Haven't the Padres already torn it apart? I mean, they got rid of Hand, they got rid of Timber, but they've got that big farm, and they threw 10 years, $300 million at Manny Machado.
I don't
mean-
mind the deal. I don't mind the deal at all for them. I thought it was, I said this on Twitter today. The Nationals signed Jason Worth, and he got mocked for that contract. And they were like, "You don't care about winning." And they were in the playoffs, like a couple outs away from an NLCS a couple years later. So you never know. You go out and spend some money, you'll get some results. Whether it's 5 wins next year, improvement from a 68 win team, who knows?
Like, I don't know how to really feel about that. Because at one point, I mean, the Padres were at the point where it's like, okay, we need to start investing. We have Hosmer that we threw a lot of money at. We have pieces in the farm that are starting to gestate and develop. We need one big piece to take it over the top in case we get to that point. So you might get a jump from them, but it depends where the pitching goes. So they're more of a wild card to me right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they've done this before. They did it when Preller came in 2015. Like, they brought in Matt Kemp, Craig Kimbrell, big game James Shields. Who else did they bring in? Will Middlebrooks, Justin Upton. Like, they brought in all of these names, yet they fell to shit. So I'm kind of torn there. And I feel like they're falling into the same trap.
At least they're trying.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same about the Pirates, but nope.
Yeah. Yep. You would be pleasuring yourself if the Pirates signed Machado.
I'd be shocked. I'd be like,
You'd be like Jillian's pug right now. If
Oh, he's probably
maybe a little larger than that. Jesus.
Yep. And humping another boy. All right. Eli Arbaiza, $10. Thank you, by the way. We're gonna read this one and the next one, and then start talking about more hockey because there is more I want to talk about. Eli Arbaiza. I hate how when it comes to college sports, the only ones the media cares about are football and basketball. They should cover other sports like baseball, softball, field hockey, and others more. I can agree with that. I do like watching women's softball. I don't know why. I'm, for an alternative sport, that's the one that if it's on, I'll be like, oh, we can hold here for a while. And then my wife is always like, why do you like watching women's softball? And I'm like, they're really good. Has nothing to do that they're wearing very tight pants out there. But
There's nothing wrong with a little softball butt, though.
yes.
I'm not saying that in sexist ways.
I don't have to apologize. Like, I know I'm here. I don't get
I know it.
offended.
I'm not doing it because of that.
I'm not
Just
going to change
Yeah,
my
like, I love
behavior
it, I
because a
won't get
woman's
offended.
here.
It's just changing for the re-education camps that YouTube's going to send us to in case they're watching. That's why I'm apologizing.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I would say that the chat is doing okay. Like, I don't think the mods have had to ban anyone either. So you guys are
Pretty
holding
solid.
it down. I'm appreciative of it. So, yeah, this is
They
20.
deserve more credit if they keep that up. Like that's really solid.
Mm-hmm. All right, last one. You can read this next one, Tree, because this is about NASCAR.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Mr. Beast of Metal. $20. Muchas gracias, senor. Hallelujah. Breaking. Denny Hamlin provides emotional catharsis for owner Joe Gibbs as NASCAR defies specter of single-file freight trains to put on a good Daytona 500. Salt levels in NASCAR circles except Chase Elliott fans on downturn.
Yeah, the thing about NASCAR that kind of cracks me up is sometimes, like, I don't know, they can kind of pick who they want to win. Don't you feel it sometimes? Like when Dale Jr. kind of won the Daytona 500 after his dad died, like, smells a little funny, but you're okay with it. I don't know. Do you feel
It's
that
hard
way?
to rig races like that, though.
It is hard.
Like, it's not like a basketball or something where it's a lot easier to point to, like, oh, there are these people that might be rigging it.
Yeah, but they can let people buy if they want, and they can wreck the people that they want too. Like, they can manipulate NASCAR. Trust me. They kept Danica Patrick from winning a single race there, and Juan Pablo Montoya the whole time. They were like, we don't like you. Like, we just gonna keep you from winning. But
Danica Patrick just crashed into everything.
and then threw a massive tantrum, and that's not sexist. She would just do that.
It's exactly how it went down.
Oh yeah, and then she just bitched about everything. It's like, yeah, it's okay. You'll just make some more GoDaddy commercials. You're good.
That's right. Just date Aaron Rodgers. My favorite Danica Patrick clip is when she got spun out, and then she looks like Kazoo, and her little arms are like flapping down, and she picks up like a traffic cone and throws it, and it's just like so sad and pathetic. Like, oh, she's mad. Like,
every time I hear her on radio, she sounds like Slippy Toad from Star Fox. That's all I can think of.
Actually, I had a friend run into her because I live in Virginia where there's a race, and I had a friend run into her. Says she's like maybe 3 feet tall and absolutely stunning in real life. So
I didn't realize she was short though. Like,
yeah,
I would imagine she's pretty in real life because she looks pretty on TV. So.
yeah. He said she was.
I guess
tiny.
it doesn't always happen though.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. Like I look terrible on camera, but I look much worse in real life. Trust me. Trust me. All right. So after the All-Star game, so we're going to take a break now, and then we'll get back to this next one. Before You Love Shine is the stopping point right there. And then we got a lot to go here. So after the women's All-Star game, you went to not a real hockey game. You went to an NHL hockey game.
It's okay. I mean, that's like, there's nothing wrong with saying it like that. I mean, people would probably get mad, like some people, but I also feel like that's just how we've been raised, right? Like
I didn't mean to say it like that.
I wouldn't like it to be said that.
Right.
Yeah. I just think a lot of times people get very, very angry about things when it comes to women's sports. And I'm like, guys, listen, change doesn't happen in the blink of an eye, and like getting mad at somebody for even talking about it is just, I don't know. I get angry at people on the internet. I shouldn't, because I try to make a career on the internet, but like I get very angry at all the anger on the internet.
I'm amazed at people that can just get hate and ignore it, because I'm not good at that. I'm getting better at that. Like as I've grown of larger audience, like, like when you only have like 10,000 subs and someone tells you that you suck, like you want to defend yourself, right? You want to be like,
how dare you?
Right. Like I am working my ass off to put these videos out, and you want to tell me I suck. Now that I have more subscribers, it's like, yeah, look at my sub count, and like I don't ever type that out, but that's what I say to myself.
You
At
should
the end of the
type it
day,
out.
subs
I
are just
think you
numbers.
Yeah, they are, but still,
it doesn't really matter. But like, you have a base, people that follow you and like you. That's all that really matters. You're not going to please everyone. At the end of the day, you're going to get people who shit on you. Like, it's all you can really do. It's inevitable. That's what happens when you put yourself in the public sphere. People aren't going to like your shit. Like, there's shit on YouTube or like on TV that I don't like and I think suck. But that's inevitable because we all have different tastes.
Yeah. That Don Cherry.
100%. I also
LeBlanc.
I get angry at people who get like irrationally angry about things like that. Like I don't know. I think I get mad at outrage culture. How about that? That's more of what I'm saying is outrage culture is ridiculous.
Political
Like,
correctness
culture.
in general is just hell. I've never been
That's-
politically correct, so.
It's probably because you're fun, so.
Yeah.
I hated it when it was in the thousands. It was starting to die. It felt good, and then it came back with a vengeance. It's like, oh god. I think one of the big things on Twitter now is like them bitching about a 1971 interview with John Wayne. Like, oh my god, it's a 40-year-old interview. Of course, it's not going to fit up to the model standards of today.
You should hear Richard Petty talk about NASCAR and refer to African Americans as coloreds, and you're just like cringing. And you're like, yeah, this was the face of NASCAR. And you're just like,
Didn't he still mention that about Danica Patrick, or was that Kyle?
Who said that?
About, like mentioned something about women in NASCAR, about Danica Patrick. Was that Richard or Kyle Petty?
It was one of the Pettys. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Richard. I mean, he has some really bad, just racist takes. And you're like, yeah, this and that. And it was okay back then to say shit like that. I'm like, that's the only good side of political correctness is that you can't just spout off and say dumb shit. But at the same time, like if you want to call someone, I get what you mean by outrage culture versus PC. It's different.
I think sometimes they bleed into each other. Like the PC-ness kind of bleeds into the outrage. There are benefits, like progression happens, and that can be a good thing. But just like outrage culture, where things get taken out of context a lot. I feel like too on the internet, and I'm not talking about like a racist comment or things like that. Just like in general, we pick snippets. We don't see the full picture on the internet. We see one tweet, and we're like, well, that was terrible, and you don't see the full thing. And then everyone gets outraged about it, and cancel culture and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and I can see you in particular getting a lot of negative comments because anytime you throw every team's fan base under the bus, like
what do you mean? Never. That never would anger people.
My favorite comment though is like when I do something where you go around the entire league, when someone says like, I loved 30 out of 31 of these, and you're just like, yep, mission accomplished.
Oh, of course.
All right.
Like, that's what you really notice is, like, they dogpile on the other teams, but when you get to their own, like, the most wrong person on the planet, and you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, and you should go back to whatever other sport you're doing. Every time.
I like the fan that is the sadomasochist, like, oh, man, you should have given it to us way harder. I'm just like...
Oh, of course.
That's the best one, honestly.
Yeah.
That makes me so excited when I see that.
They're like me as a Met fan. Like, I like the Mets, and it's just been a bunch of self-torture, and I'm just like, pile on all the terrible moments because there are plenty of them. Plenty.
No
just like being a Flyers fan, which almost excluded you from being on this show, by the way. I mean, you should thank us for our generosity.
We have that reputation.
Yeah.
I really do. I appreciate the opportunity, and I would like to speak on behalf of Flyers fans that I apologize for any of the dumb shit that we will do in the future. It's just who we are. If we're not assholes, I don't know who we are.
I don't know, man. I'm on the other side of the state. It's still hard, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I know.
Again, I am very, very thankful for this, guys.
Who dislikes? All right, I know this as a Rangers fan. I probably dislike Caps fans like at number one, and then followed by Flyers fans. Who is your bigger dislike?
Pens. 1,000%. I'm sure the Pens would say
of course, Pens Flyers is like the biggest rival. I mean, you be a Philly fan like around here, you want to say like, dude, fuck you so much. You just want to throw commemorative bracelets at them.
I still can't. Jesus, the commemorative bracelets. Oh,
sorry, they're never gonna live it. Yeah, I mean, it's a Philly thing.
Such a dumb thing. Like, it's just a dumb move. It really was. Because
that was bad.
Had to, like, if any other team would have done it, like, it would have been news, but like, it just becomes a part of the Philly identity. Like, you did more dumb shit on top of having dumb shit as part of your history.
Yeah, like it just permeates. I mean, if it were Pittsburgh, it'd be like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? But it wouldn't stick. But since it's like, the team that has a notorious history of like fan rowdiness, thus it sticks.
Right.
It's 100%.
And then you get thrown into the same bunch of, throwing snowballs at Santa and things like, and it's just all silly in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Booing
just
Santa.
great
It
time.
happens.
Darren Dalton
like,
throwing
here's
at his
the
own
thing.
kid.
Minus the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl recently, and then you had the Phillies, who won in 2008. Like, we're not that dangerous in many ways. And, like, I know Pens fans like to throw this in our face a lot. Like, can you really call it a rivalry because you guys suck? And I'm like, you know what? I have no good comeback to that, but fuck you. So that's...
Yeah. Anytime you're down in an argument, you just yell "fuck you" and then douse some type of accelerant on them.
Yeah. So I don't have any good comebacks to that. I lose. You win. Yeah. You have how many cups recently? Come on.
Yeah. Well, Rangers fans like myself, we can just cry in the corner because we won one in '94, and that was a long time ago. At least we didn't blow a cup on a goal that no one knew actually scored.
Gosh, that was probably one of the most depressed I've ever felt. I genuinely thought we were going to win the cup. And it was so bad that I had a dream like 3 weeks later. And the dream was so vivid that we actually won the cup that when I woke up, my heart broke. Like I had the heartbreaking sensation of losing the Stanley Cup again. So
wow.
Like, and our Michael Layton, that was who was in net at that time. Who?
I think it was Boucher.
Well, it was him and Boucher and Michael Layton were both of the goalies during that run. So like, they would go back and forth. So there was definitely Layton was in it sometimes. Boucher was in it other times because I know Boucher got hurt during one of the series. I can't believe we got to the Stanley Cup final with Brian. I like Brian Boucher, but like Brian Boucher as our goalie and Michael Layton as the other goalie. Like nobody even knows who Michael Layton is.
You were seconds away from a cup. Seconds. And just one shot.
No. Really? Really?
Yeah,
Man, and you know how to rub it deep.
Anyways, all right, let's get to some Snapchats because these are piling up like a NASCAR race. Let's get these out. All right, Before You Love Shine, $2. Laugh Out Loud, San Diego. Signing Manny ain't revenge for 98. I kind of agree with that. They did the Matt Kemp again. Basically, and then in '98, I think they made the World Series, right? And no, what am I talking about? Tree, recover me on this.
Sorry, man. Tucker White 94, $2. FYI, Disturbed coming to Yinzer country tomorrow. Oh boy, so we're gonna get a bunch of like people with like super thin hair going like that. That's all I'm gonna hear. It's like that's all you're gonna hear from like a Disturbed concert. It's like it's that thing you want to do but you can't do.
They've been around for a long time. The Disturbed.
I think 20 years, I think.
Are they the same band as System of a Down? I don't know. Are they? They could.
Well, I think System of a Down is our main, so that has them against. So.
All right, Disturbed. All right, Tucker White 94 update. Preds 1, Stars 0. Oh, let's check some NHL
take a little
scores.
update.
I'm gonna say if you want to know, I have
it's
two
still
games
Preds 1,
left.
Stars 0.
Oh, you're watching two games? We're that boring, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, they're just up because I was told I had to have them up, not by you guys. So they're on the screens behind me. I'm not really, and I don't. Yeah, I'm not actively watching them. It's more of just like the scores. So I'm not looking at my watch the entire time to see the scores.
Looks like the Lightning.
The Flyers are on. Is really what it is.
Lightning have been over the Flyers 5-2. They just scored an empty netter. Rangers beat the.
Oh my God, I'm on a serious delay. You just.
Oh.
I have it as 3-1 right now, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
My delay is
you are way behind.
14-minute delay.
You're on shitcast. Wow.
Sorry.
Let me ruin some other outcomes for you.
Well, if you want more bad news, the Pens won, so you're a little further behind the playoff race.
Rangers
I'm not even worried about the Flyers
tank.
making the pen. What was that?
What were you saying?
Oh, sorry. Pens won. So, I mean, they beat New Jersey. Woohoo.
What were you saying, Jillian? What were you asking?
I wasn't asking. I was just saying I don't care about the Flyers making the playoffs. I just want the Pens to miss it. That's all. It's
That's
not gonna
possible.
happen.
I mean, if They're as inconsistent as they are. They
Pens are.
I mean, there
going
is a chance. I would put my money more on Pittsburgh than a team. Not that I love Carolina. I want Carolina to make the playoffs.
Me too.
But like, I worry. I don't know. I would never bet against the Pens right now because every time I have, they kind of just like, fuck you, you bet against me, and they go and they win a Stanley Cup. So
If you look at their history, there's nothing but ridiculously lucky bullshit that pops out of every corner. It's ridiculous.
We're getting Malkin
But they're-
and Crosby, yeah.
And then
Lemieux
Crosby
and Yager.
getting concussed and then returning to form and then them turning to pure shit looking like going to be total ass for years to come. And then they overhaul everything, coach, adapt based on speed, and win back-to-back cups.
it's very annoying. I have to admit,
Yeah.
it's very, very
I
annoying.
can see how it is.
Yeah. I'm about to tell you to shut the fuck up, Tree. Like, really. It's
Nah.
very annoying to hear of your team's success.
Yeah.
being
Me shutting up
successful.
does not get Lundqvist a cup. I'm sorry, buddy.
Wow, we're just insulting and hitting everybody low. Don't make me
Hitting
bring up
all
the
of sore
Pirates.
spots.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
dude, the Pirates I'm apathetic to. I don't give a shit. They're not going to do anything. They're going to be like 75 to 80 wins, maybe, if you're lucky, over 500, and they're going to pretend to be relevant when they are.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're really selling the apathy thing here, I can tell.
I know, right? Totally.
All right, David Benjamin, where do you think Bryce Harper goes?
I still say Philly.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like, he has his doubts, but he just wants more money.
Do you have a man crush on Bryce Harper there, Jillian? Or do you think
I mean, the Twitterverse, I just need this to end. How about that? I just need it to end because I'm tired of seeing and hearing about it. So,
surprised they've lasted this long, to be honest with you.
I think though Machado signing really does make it close for Harper because it shows to the league that Boris is willing to crack on a couple things. Because he did get 10 years, $300 million, but there's an out after 5 years, so it's really not guaranteed. It was an okay deal, but I don't think he sees it all the way through. But
I mean, if San Diego doesn't live up to expectations, I don't think he goes anywhere near.
yeah, I think Machado's trade bait again.
They turn him into A-Rod.
Yeah.
They give him to the Red Sox
Trade
and
him
the
to
Yankees.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You want this next one? These are
Aye,
all
sir.
NHL next.
Oh, yeah. Nick the Geek for $2. NHL rigged for the Wild to miss the playoffs. Nah, I'd say the Wild are doing that to themselves. Have you seen them play? They're as boring as hell. They have no goaltending.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Oh god.
Like, they're all bland. Like, I mean, okay, you got Parise that came back to form. What else do you have? You got nothing.
Yeah, you did an
Sorry.
entire vid on Parisi and Suter getting signed on the same day, and they have really produced jack crap from it.
Well, I mean, the individual players have been fine. I mean, Parise's dealt with injuries. The issues are the contracts themselves. Paid way too much, and they haven't been able to supplement it. The prospects haven't developed as advertised.
Yeah.
So it was a gamble that failed.
Yeah.
They just never seem to be good enough, They're
course.
good. And right now, again, missing the playoffs would probably be the best thing for them, honestly. They don't need to lose in the first round yet again. Like, I make this joke a lot, but like it has to be annoying if you're a Wild fan I can make the playoffs and go nowhere in it. Like, just suck. Just suck so bad that you can actually improve yourself.
Yeah, but it does hurt to miss the playoffs. It also hurts when you're not at the party too. But I get it. It's one of those things.
But they're always having to leave the party early. Like, they always have to leave early. Like, can you imagine constantly showing up and being like, "Oh, by the way, you're not really welcome."
Right. I heard that people show people their boobies at some point in the night, and you guys are making me leave. What is this? No, Wild fan. You're getting kicked out. You're cut off. Get out of here. All right, Aiden C97, $10 California money, which is Canadian if you're CA. Greetings from the Vancouver Canucks territory. A question for Tree. Have you ever been to a Penguins game before? And if so, how's the atmosphere there? That's a good question. Tree? Derp? Did we derp?
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, where'd he go?
He got so upset about that question.
Of course he does. Like, he's not even in the room, right? He's just gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I will start answering that question, even though you probably want him to answer it, which we'll let him do. But I have been to a game in Pittsburgh, and I begrudgingly say it is a fun atmosphere there. Anytime I think you have a team that wins a lot, the atmosphere just amplifies, and it's exciting every time you go there. And in general, Pittsburgh's a fun city. I like it a lot. So
yeah, I actually
my mom
met
would be
Tree.
so sad.
I was in Pittsburgh for my aunt. She was ordained as an Episcopalian priest, which was crazy in itself.
Interesting. I need more details on that too.
Well, and she was raised. We were all raised. Well, not me, but we come from a Jewish family, so that was even crazier. But she was.
My internet chose to die.
Oh, sorry. I'm telling the Pittsburgh story when I met you last year, and then we just happened to be in Pittsburgh. And then Tree was waiting tables at the time. He wasn't a full-time influencer. He still had to do the grind. And I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. You know, where do you work? He was like, and it took him like 10 days before he responded. He was like,
because I don't like people knowing where the hell I work. I'm sorry.
Right. I was like, dude, I'm not going to tell everyone where you work, man. And then you're like, all right. And then I came in with my wife for like 5 minutes, and he was he was in the swamp of tables, and he was just like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then it
was Pitt graduation day. I'm sitting there like, oh shit.
And then my wife was like, that's your friend? I was like, yeah. And she like, can we go now? I was like, yes.
Yeah. You had like a drink and you were just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. We're staying at the Drury, which was like a couple blocks from where you were. So it made sense. Anyways. All right. The question was, what's the atmosphere like at a Pens game? For you, Trey.
For me, like, it depends on the situation. For Pens games, like, I mean, if it's a regular season game, you're not getting that much of an atmosphere. I mean, it's like, it's all right. I mean, it's exciting. When playoff time comes, when you hit, like, semifinals, finals, you get some really intense games, especially at, like, the one was, you know, game 2 against the Sharks. That was intense because that was an overtime game. There was, Capitals, Pens, I think it was game 4, you know, when Crosby was out for the game and like they were down like a bunch of guys and everyone's expecting Washington to win. It was just like one of those gutsy performances that was really intense. So it depends on the situation, really.
I would tell you,
at least from what I feel,
any fan, like I'll put playoff hockey in attendance as in the top echelon of any sporting event that you could possibly see. Like the intensity. I was there when the Caps eliminated the Senators in '98 when they went on that insane run, and the atmosphere was so just electric. Like, oh man, it was so good. But it was very good.
Counter to that, have you ever been at a game like a game 7 when a team shits the bed?
Yeah. Well, I saw the Orioles lose to the Indians on just complete when Armando Benitez served up a cookie to Tony Fernandez, and he plunked it into the warehouse seating, and like I've never seen a more silent. Like literally, it felt like somebody died. Like Fred Rogers was executed on second base, and that's what it was like. It was bad.
It's so crazy how like when they missed the field goal in Chicago when they lost to the Eagles, you could hear how silent it was in that stadium. Like it sucks so much to be at a game like that and just the energy just completely sucks out of it. And like again, you feel like somebody has died. It's terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. It was just sad faces and you know, because you're there, right? Like especially when all they needed to do was score a run and it would have been euphoria, but then you get the opposite. Yep. And once the realization sets in that the team is lost, and you're just like, all right, let's get to these Snapchats because we've really let them pile up, and then we'll start talk. It's already 9:50.
I'll stop talking. I'm just
No, we don't want you. That's why we invited you on the show. Okay, let's read like 4 in a row each. Tree, how about that?
He's not here. Where'd he go?
Oh, he's gone again. Okay. Before you love shine, what would it take for the New York Knicks to upgrade themselves to a generational champion from a bad apple? They are rumored for sale again. It's going to take drafting Zion, signing Kevin Durant, signing Anthony Davis, and none of those things are going to happen. So it's 0 for 3. I like this one, Mr. Mephisto for $5. Did you tell Jillian about the Preds name triggering? Okay. So did you see that?
Oh, I just saw this. Yes.
Uh-huh. Great.
It's a great example of things I hate. But let's talk about it. What happened?
All right.
So everyone can hear how dumb this is.
Thanks for the wind up. Yeah, so Mr. Mephisto, who authored this Snapchat, added me on Twitter and both of us actually, and said that there's people are upset at the Predator's name. They want to change it to the Sabercats because of the negative connotation of the word predator.
I hate life sometimes. This is the thing. These are the things that make me think we're not going to survive as a species. Okay? Like, this is so ridiculous.
They're not the Nashville sexual predators, right? That's not their name.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, like, I could get it if they were the Nashville pedophiles, but they, like, Detroit Lions are predators. They're not groping little kids. My brain is.
Where do you think this person was when they created this? Like, what made them say, "I want to make this like I need to attack this name"?
They were on the toilet for sure, and they were just like, how can I create fake outrage today? Let me see.
I purposely have not talked about it on Twitter anywhere because I don't want to give more attention to it because
it can't be real. These people have to be just brilliant satirists, right? They just can't. They can't be that ignorant. It is kind of funny, though.
I don't know. I think somebody might be just that.
Did you get a kind of a creepy vibe when you went to the Predators game at Bridgestone? Were you just like, ew?
There's predators everywhere. Oh, no,
Jesus.
These might be sexual predators. No,
yes.
Because that's ridiculous.
Next, you're going to get Chris Hansen telling people to take a seat.
You should have.
Like, what was that?
You should have had some feminist outrage, Jillian, at the game and just be like, you men are all toxic. Like, that's.
Toxic men all around me. Get
in
off
particular.
the ice.
What the fuck? Then just chuck a catfish somewhere and call it a day.
Yeah, that's right. Pull a catfish from under your bra and throw it onto the ice.
That'll get you fans in Nashville.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I want to know who smuggles the catfish in, who thinks that that's a great idea.
Listen, I also have met this person many times.
They wear a
I know who
backpack,
they are.
right?
What was that?
Don't they bring the fish in a backpack?
The way they did it with the pens, they saran wrapped
It's
it
wrapped around
underneath
his
their
body,
shirt.
like
And then they take it out and
flattens
cook
it and saran wraps it around.
Oh,
him.
you guys were both saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's how they did it when they were in Pittsburgh. So that's how they got away with it.
Is that a catfish in your pants? Or... Okay. Whoops. I spilled some water. Oops. Well, that's not good. Oh shit. All right. Tree, can you read?
Apparently, they said this video just got flagged.
For what?
The hell? I don't know.
Are we still streaming?
Did we?
No.
Or am I just losing my mind?
No, we're still.
I'm here.
Yeah. We had it happen once, and it was just like we didn't realize it for like 5 minutes.
Oh no, we're.
So maybe I'm losing my mind.
We're fine. We're talking about dog erections. Yeah, we're live.
Oh yeah, dog erections and catfish and sexual predators.
Mm-hmm. They're just trying to scare us with their outrage culture. We can't have nice things. All right, Before You Love Shine, Ment, New York, closest Cali city from Vegas. Oh, he's saying something from before. Oh, what would it take for the New York? Oh, so he's correcting that. What is the closest Cali city? It's L.A. Jill, please. I already outdid your fireball with the four horsemen at first attempt. Yes, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Johnny Walker, and Jameson in it. Wow. That's a good way to wake up with the drunken public.
That'll knock you out.
Yeah.
That's what
I don't drink that much. I just, I mess with the green stuff.
The green stuff?
Yeah, and I'm not talking about creme de liqueur. I'm talking about
liqueur. Bailey's.
Plant life. Anyways. All right, John Kuziak. How long till Harper is a Phillies tree? Is a Phillies. I like that. Plural. How long?
How long?
Yeah.
I give it a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think so. He wants to skip camp, maybe. He wants to be like Michael Strahan and just not show up to camp.
It's going to be Le'Veon.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to be AB with his bleached mustache.
I wouldn't go that far. He hasn't burned all the bridges in Washington yet.
You know you have to come out with another Days of Our Steelers, right?
Probably, unfortunately, will happen. And I hate it. Please, someone kill me, like now.
That's what happens
with
success. You're a slave to it. TIE Fighter 94. Hi from Nashville. Random question. Do any of you guys watch Formula One? That's a no for me, dog. Sorry.
I try to get into it, but not really.
Jillian, do you like watching the motorsports?
Me? If I could watch more sports, I would, but like I'm capped. Like I don't have the capacity for any more sports. But that said, I thoroughly enjoyed my first experience with motorsports. So like it's cool, but I just can't handle any more sports.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's why I don't watch like Premier League soccer. Like I'm just like, okay, I can't hate more teams.
I already have so much hate in my body.
Like my hate of the Flyers and Pens, like just that's the worst part is that every week I'm with Tree, who's a Pens fan, and I have to like hate his because I like Tree, I actually find myself rooting for the Pens, but then I retract from the horror of that because I'm just
it's a good call. Good call. You don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace the dark side, please.
No. My name is
We're going to be eliminated in the first round this year. Come on.
I hope
and
so.
Sit back and enjoy.
Know. It depends on who you play, honestly. I feel confident that you won't win a Stanley Cup this year.
They're not.
They're
not consistent. That's the issue.
Oh, but again, depending on who you would get in the first round, like again, there is a chance that you could make it out of that first round. Tampa is so good, but I also feel like they're just so good that I'm worried they're gonna choke because they're that good.
Tampa knows how to choke. They've done it repeatedly. They did it last year against Washington.
Yeah,
like that's why I'm not buying it until they do something. Because like you've done this before, show me something new.
Mm-hmm.
There's that disease that comes around though in playoff time called winning a President's Cup, and it's a real thing. And
President's Trophy curse.
Yep, President's Cup.
And
wasn't the last team that won the cup? Wasn't that Chicago?
That won a President's Cup and trophy, whatever. I called it a cup 4 times. I'm very focused on
people are going to get angry.
Yes.
People are mad on the internet now.
Yes, I'm very focused on genital protection right now. The Squid, $5. Watch Mojo presents top 10 anime fights of 2019. Number 1, Don Cherry versus Bunch of Jerks.
That should be a tag team battle. Don Cherry and Brian Burke versus Bunch of Jerks.
Yeah.
I
love the celebration.
100%.
They did the baseball. I can't wait until they do they should do the Dirty Dancing one.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that.
They should get like the tiny guy.
Yeah, they should trade for Jordan Tutu or something and then be able to do that.
Somebody really small.
Yep. They should have
strategic trades.
They should have kept Sergei Tolchinsky for that reason. He's like 5'5" and like 150 pounds.
Or sign Zuccarello or trade for Zuccarello so they can do the nobody puts baby in a corner. All right, Eli Arbiza, $2. Should the NBA or MLB look to expand? Gosh,
MLB hard no.
Yeah, I think they're
like because they have nowhere else they can really put a team, and they're having teams that are struggling.
All right. Beast of Metal 1989. There's a lot of these. So, Jillian, if you have to leave, like if you can only do an hour of time, that I understand. But
Can hang for a little longer.
okay. We'll try to get these done in the next 10 minutes. But guys, if you keep sending them, it's going to be harder to read. But
Maybe
hey,
I think
don't
that's
mind.
what they're trying to do.
Monkey see, monkey do. Beast of Metal, add me to the Burke and other Storm Surgers haters can fuck off a Pike group. Oh, wow, we have a hater, everyone. Although, if I am in Raleigh on 3/19, I won't want to see it for other Antarctic avian-related reasons. So you're a Pens fan, basically.
Oh, okay.
Good.
I get it.
Welcome to the dark side, Beast of Metal.
Dark Sider.
Come. We have 5 cups.
Do you have this next one, Tree?
We have generational talents. Yes. Summon Boy 27 for $5. Out of all the teams you guys support, which one is most likely to win a championship next? Also, I'm cold and in snow again. For me, that's tough.
That's a good question, especially for Jillian. I like that one.
Wait, hold on. I heard the question about which team was most likely to win it again, but which sport was this? Hockey?
No,
Any of them.
whatever team you root for. Any team you root for. Yeah.
Oh, God. It's Philly. I'm going to say the Flyers because I want them to win a cup.
You will them. Yes.
Keep putting enough of this energy out there. Maybe it'll happen. But maybe the Sixers. I don't know. The Sixers are pretty... my brother's a huge Sixers fan, so I just feel like he's always telling me all the good things that happen with them. So I get amped up and I probably think they're way better than they actually are because he only ever tells me the good things. So
Sixers have gone all in this year, though. If they don't do it this year, they're probably done.
Yeah. They're gonna
it could happen. It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
There'll be
I'd
parades
happy
of
for my brother.
Sam Hinkie, shrines built to him throughout the city. They
Yes.
will build him a statue.
Yeah.
As they should.
I
If
still
there is
have
no
my
statues-
doubts about that, but I can understand why.
I don't think they'll win shit, to be honest with you. But I'm a hater.
Well, they're going to get destroyed by the Warriors. Anyone who wins is going to get just mauled by the Warriors anyway, so.
It's about how it always goes down.
Yep. The Warriors. They should change their name. That sounds way too creepy.
That's aggressive. I think
Yeah.
that's too aggressive. I feel a little unsafe with that.
Yeah, I do too. I think Steph Curry's trying to grope me. He has that look in his eyes. Inigo Dio's back. Inigo. Hey, Inigo. Do you know a sports team is bad when your Uber driver tells you that they've never dropped anyone at their games. I've never driven anyone to a Marlins game. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. I can buy it. Like, their attendance is bad. If you're speaking of attendance, have you seen Florida Panthers games attendance? They are
did you see
awful.
that today? It was bad today. Somebody took a picture of it.
They're back to like 2011, 2012 levels of bad. You know, the ones where they're just like chucking like promotions out left and right and handing out tickets like candy. It's that bad again.
So you're saying like the rats on the ice are just the actual rats in the stadium? Like
pretty much.
Like, hey, is someone gonna
pretty
get
much.
Someone gonna...
Like it's
bad.
Let me link it to you because.
Okay. Hold on. Twitter.
The Twitter sphere. Every time, empty seats galore.
Yep.
Always.
All right, this one, Rogel Dorn, which somebody was trying to spell Roger Dorn maybe from Major League, one of the best movies ever, but it's Rogel Dorn. For $10, thank you. That's a new one, by the way. Is the Blues winning streak the worst thing that could happen to them, or can they sustain this winning? Also, a reminder to FPV that a 97-win Mets team lost the 06 NLCS.
To an 83-win Cardinals.
Andy Chavez, he jumped up over the wall and he made an amazing catch. And then Aaron Heilman served up a cookie to Yadier Molina and he plunked it into the left field bleachers. And that's, it happened.
If there's any solace, they allowed us to laugh at the Tigers again. So
that one hurt. That was one of those losses, like you said, Jillian, that hurt my feelings like for days.
You just feel it for so long.
Oh yeah.
You just keep thinking about it.
2015 wild card.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Is that the Tebow game?
No, that was the Kyle Schwarber home run into the river game.
Ooh, that hurts. You know what hurts it more is when it's like a great play that kills you too. Like you're just like, there's nothing we could have done about that. That was like, it's a double fuck you from the gods above. All right, Dodger, what's up? You want to read this one?
Dodger for $5. Anybody else get to see last night's Oregon State game? Women's basketball is interesting again now that UConn is falling. Actually, most of the big teams, like, they're falling. Tennessee hasn't been the same since Pat Summitt's been gone. Like, Gino Auriemma's getting up there in age. So, I mean, women's basketball was deep in an age of just, like, even the NBA would cringe at the levels of just dominance that both these teams were on.
They went through an entire season, the UConn team, without losing a game.
Yeah, that's like, if I were to do a hater's guide to women's basketball, it'd just be like, UConn, you're good, you're going to win, and then everyone else is like, you're fucked. And that would be it.
Yeah.
And I'll repeat that for like 10 minutes.
Thanks, Dodger, by the way. We'll talk after the show. Beast of Metal 1989. Both Kyle and Richard took dumps on Danica. That is, yeah, the phrasing was terrible for sure, but the fact she actually did underachieve badly completely. She did underachieve. It's amazing though that you had a woman in NASCAR and she was on the circuit for a long time, but she didn't win a race, you know.
She barely got top 10s.
Right.
Like she wrecked out.
She was the Anna
And then
Kournikova.
her replacement won a game, and then she just like came out of it.
I like this next one because I was watching this game last night. Century, $2 Canadian. We nearly got to see Thornton's dingus yesterday. What is with the Sharks? Like, they can't play fucking defense, and they have Erik Karlsson. Like, I guess he's not.
The Sharks should be better than they are, I feel like.
They don't really have goaltending. Like, it's just like... And the Sharks are my second favorite team, so, like, if they don't make the cup, I am going to fucking strangle them. Because they're like... they've been piping for a cup for about 15 years now. And it's just like... when are you going to shit for once?
Listen, it's all your fault that they didn't win a cup.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it wasn't the Penguins' fault. It's that Peter DeBoer can't tactically manage worth a damn, and they thought Roman Polak was a legitimate shutdown defenseman. That's why they lost. That's all I'm saying.
I find DeBoer's hockey to be really fucking boring. Like, it's that devil style hockey, and it's ugh.
At least it's not Hitchcock hockey. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. He's coached 800 games, DeBoer, and he really.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. I think we only have a couple left here, and then we can start. If you stop fucking
8.
Fucking
8.
Yeah. Mr.
Sorry.
Mephisto,
10.
Jillian, I feel your pain, but at least a goals your team scored wasn't whistled early. I forever hate Yinzers afterward. Emotional Preds fan.
That happened to the Flyers too. I think like a couple weeks ago. Like they got a little trigger happy on the whistle.
It did against the Pens. It like even the Pens announcers were kind of like, "Ooh."
Yeah, I was sitting there like that shouldn't have been a whistle. I mean, it's like
I'm the first person to yell when they don't blow the whistle at the appropriate amount of time. Like when they take too long to blow. It's like I can't be angry. Like I know it's tough in game, and I'm always the first one to yell when I'm like, "These got it covered. Why aren't you blowing the whistle?" So I have to.
He just got a little trigger happy. He probably saw the smack of the glove and thought it was in. That's probably what he did.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
I think it's funny when they're all fighting for the puck and like one guy sticks his stick like right into the goalie's crotch, and you're just like, "Come on, man, you can't do that." I like this next one, by the way. Century, California, $2. Eberle for Strome, for Spooner for Gagne.
But they got Sam Gagne back.
Yeah.
The great Keith Gretzky.
Yeah.
As their interim GM.
Between him and Wayne, right? They have the most goals ever between two brothers. And I think Keith has one.
I think so.
Yeah. Tucker White, 94. Update. Preds 1. Stars 1. Okay. We're back there. James Amadei. Will Tampa finally win the cup? Don't choke, please. There's a lot of pressure on them.
Of course, this is the year they have to do it.
They're so good. If they don't,
if they don't, it's gonna be like I'm gonna unleash hell on them because like they should not be wasting all that talent. And then now you've got a deal. Sergachev, I think, has to be paid next year. I think it's Braden Point's gonna be getting a huge payday. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with that.
They're that type of team where they feel so good. Where I'm just like, why do I feel like the other shoe is about to drop? Like, I just feel like it's going to happen.
That's how you feel for, like, certain teams. Like, I mean, you kind of feel that about the Blues winning streak. You kind of feel that about, like, the Sabres at the beginning of the year. You feel that about, sometimes even about the Maple Leafs. Or, like, the Jets or the Preds. Like, or even the Flames. Like, I kind of feel that.
I was just going to say, the Caps were that team that I felt that way about. And it wasn't until when I saw them playing against the Lightning, it was like maybe game 2 or game 3 that I was like, oh wait, I actually don't think the other shoe's going to drop. I think they're going to do this. Like when they were going into that series against the Knights, I was like, I think this is the team this year. But up until that point, I just feel like that's the same feeling I have for the Lightning. Like until they prove themselves in the playoffs in some level and like have this kind of energy where like Ovechkin, you could just tell Ovechkin was not going to be stopped. I just don't feel that way yet. But the playoffs haven't started. I have that feeling for them.
If the playoffs start and Kucherov looks like how he's looked all year, I think a lot of other teams are in trouble because he looks like a player right now that could just completely take over, not just a series, but an entire playoffs. If he can play like he is right now, but that's really hard to sustain. Really hard.
It is. Especially in the playoffs when all the pressure is on, because that's when it matters.
He's a beast, though. He's freaking playing out of his mind. He's like a Russian Patrick.
He's already at 100 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he
better
went
than the
pointless
entire
today,
Oilers.
which is shocking. He
Did
can
you
play
see that
defense
picture?
for the Senators and still be their best defenseman.
Did you see that picture of Connor McDavid at the autograph signing session? Like, this is what we do to Connor now.
Poor Connor.
Yeah.
Poor Connor.
Beast of Metal 1989. Rank the Big Four leagues by playoff structure. I like them all. I would say the NFL is my favorite, and then followed by the NHL in terms of playoff structure. Just, you get really quickly down to who it is in the NFL. NHL is like a more of a longer thing, but I would say, yeah, the NBA is my least favorite of the playoffs because it always ends with the Warriors winning.
Well, the MLB I don't like because of that one game wild card after a 162 game season. Like it just feels it feels hollow. Like if it were a shorter season, I'd get a 1 game wild card, but taking it back to 1 game, that just feels like bullshit.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're close.
Especially because you just 2 games would do it for me, and I know 2 games wouldn't solve a problem or anything like that, but like maybe like do differential or something. I don't know. I just feel like it. I don't want to do 3 games because the season's already so long. I get the 1 game, but I also, again, it's such a long season.
The problem with 1 game is that anything can happen. And you're mainly just going on who's the better pitcher.
You could have an infield fly. But they do that when they tie in the standings. The Mets did that. They had to beat the Reds on the last day of the season 1 year. I don't know. I just like baseball, but if you don't want it to come down to the 1 game playoff, like win your division. Don't suck. Beast of Metal 1989. We won't survive because no one listens to death metal. Okay.
People should listen to more metal.
Do that again. Do the.
You do it so good. That's really impressive.
I am.
It's not even that good. Like it's just like.
I think it's great.
Thank you. But it's like, it's not even that good.
Sounds like you're clearing your throat, Sorry. Tucker White 94. I saw AB said some things about Captain Fatfuck the other day.
Mm-hmm. Owner's mentality.
Yes.
That's what he said. AB's just like going off the rails.
Yeah,
like,
he had a meeting with Art today, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Apparently they took enough time to take a picture with each other and then say like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I think they want me to get the fuck out of here too. See ya. And now his new nickname, apparently he wants to be called Mr. Big Chest.
What?
I'm not making that up. Look it up online.
Mr.
Like
Big
Adam
Chest.
Schefter was reporting Mr. Big Chest. I'm like, what?
Okay. All right. And we're showing remarkable restraint right now. Beast of Metal, 1989. I hope the Lightning choke until the remnants of Stevie Y's regime get canned. It's what they deserve for screwing over the Norfolk Admirals for bus money. Ooh. I remember that. John, I think Cooper was the coach at Norfolk.
They had a lot of like their big players were Norfolk Admirals, I think, right? Like
Yeah.
Palat, Johnson, Kucherov, Vasilevsky.
Yeah, Cooper was coaching there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a box lacrosse coach. Like, he never played hockey. Well, not at a high level. He played like club hockey at the most.
It's like him and Babcock weren't big hockey players. Like I think Babcock played like Canadian college, but that was it.
Cooper was a lawyer, actually, and he had been resigned to being a lawyer. So, just like I was a marketing guy, and now I talk shit for a living. Okay. All right, Aiden C97. I'm sorry, I'm reading all of these, but we're down to 3. Okay.
They keep adding up.
Yes. No, this is it. I think we're almost there. You can read this one then, because we're almost done.
Man. $5 Canadian. Aiden Calhoun. Thank you, brother. Another $5 from a Canadian that knows nothing about football. Hence why I called myself New Canadian Yinzer last week, but I hope we have playoffs.
I just love...
if you're a Canadian Yinzer, just don't look up Antonio Brown. That's all I'm saying. Just don't.
What is it? Does a Canadian
sake.
Yinzer, do they wear a Pittsburgh
They probably wear
Steelers
jean
jersey
shorts
made
and
out of
jerseys.
Did you hear
And
my
the
joke?
Yinzer apparel, knee-high white socks, jean shorts, old New Balance sneakers that are worn and tattered to shit, a worn-out Jack Lambert jersey, mullet, and a really thin pube mustache.
Nice.
So
That is the Yinzer.
From Canada. All right, update from Tucker White, 94. Update, Preds 2, Stars 1, so the Preds are probably going to win.
It's all tied at 3 now.
What?
We're behind. Very,
Yeah,
very
we're
behind.
way behind.
NHL.
I think they must have been bang. Oh, they just had 3 goals scored in a minute. That's why.
Oh, this...
It was 2-1.
I love this last one, by the way. And you guys have been so gracious to stop Snapchatting us so we can actually wrap up the show because we've held Jillian hostage for long enough. We've been predators for too long.
Yeah.
I think we just need to end it right there. We ended on such a good note. No, just kidding.
We should have ended this an hour ago when you were talking about the dog boner. That's when it should have ended.
I thought it
To
should have
be
kept
fair.
going, by the way, but
Jesus Christ.
I hate
Oh,
everything.
alright.
Just kidding. This has been a lot of fun.
The Brain Specialist, California, $5. I would love to see you guys get Steve Dangle on the show, or for one of you guys to get on his podcast. He said he's familiar with Tree's work. Jillian, could you introduce us to Steve Dangle?
If I could, yes, but I don't. Steve Dangle and I don't talk, unfortunately. Not in a bad way. I just haven't. We have not been introduced yet. How about that?
I thought you were on his little show earlier. No?
I mean, that was Jeff Merrick that asked me, so I haven't been checking my Twitter too actively.
Mm-hmm.
He did tweet about it, but I don't know if he follows me or anything.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think I'd feel like a creep if I just slid into his DMs at this point. But the moment we're introduced virtually on Twitter, yeah, sure, definitely.
Because I will try to get Steve Dangle on. I'm a fan of his work. He's very good.
I'd be cool with that.
He seems too legit, though.
I could laugh at the Maple Leafs.
Yes.
Also,
Sorry.
I feel like he would enjoy. Well, his entire career initially was based on the fact that the Maple Leafs were
just
ruining
terrible.
his life.
Mhm.
They were terrible for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Maple Leafs anger is starting to go away. They're also in a very tight window of success, and I think it's going to
because Marner is going to be a massive issue because he's going to want Matthews' money.
Well, yeah,
and he's not going to stop until he gets it. So he might even be he might be gone.
I'm sure the Oilers will pay him whatever he wants.
Well, he'll give up like their next 5 first-round picks for Marner and then suck.
And then continue to have the same headlines of how are we in this mess? Well, you have terrible front end management.
Oh, we have no depth. We had to trade off Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl to make room for the Marner salary.
That's right. Depth. What's that? We already got rid of Taylor Hall for Adam Larson.
And then we used that savings to pick up Milan Lucic.
That's right.
Oh, man.
And we turned a first-round pick into nothing, basically, with Strome there. Okay. Oh, man, this was so much fun. We talked about dog penises. We talked about hockey. We talked about sexual predators. You know,
talked about boobs. We talked about boobs too.
Talked about boobs. You know, I think we hit for the cycle tonight, really, of internet.
Well, when you call someone Mr. Big Chest, I mean, can't deny it.
Yeah. So I had a great time. We went way over, which was fun. But if you meet Steve Dangle, please introduce us so that we.
Once it happens, I mean, I feel like it's inevitable. Coming up now, like I feel like it's gonna happen. Like I'm waiting for that moment. Like I will fangirl when it happens. So like you'll see that probably happen, and then the introduction can happen. Then I'll like be chill about it. So
yeah, that's what I said. Like I tweeted every time I've ever told myself to be cool, I always end up tripping and spilling a drink on someone. Like, hey, be cool. Oh shit.
The opposite of cool happens.
I just spilled a drink on my CEO. Oh well. Sorry. Let me clean
it's
that
endearing.
Up for you.
We'll say it's endearing.
That's right. Tree, do you have any parting shots?
No, sir, I do not. I mean, I've heard like Dangle knows of my shit. I think he tweeted about my Avalanche video like 2 years ago, but I don't know anything else. So
I'm gonna change my.
Maybe it's an in. That's all I'm saying.
If we all just start harassing him, don't do that. No, don't do that. I didn't say that. Don't actually.
Hey. The idea's already been planted, Jillian.
Sorry, I said it and I was like, no, take the words back. That's not what I meant. Shit.
Jillian, do you know who EDP
Look, see,
is?
I'm trying to play cool and I can't play cool for even a second.
Mm-hmm. Jillian, do you know who EDP is? EDP?
Do not put her down this.
As long as she doesn't, if she says no, then I'm fine. If she says yes, then we're going down a rabbit hole. If she says no,
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Just don't. Save the sanity. Do not look him up.
Yeah.
I'm going to after this. So.
No.
Then you're going down a rabbit hole.
I can't even tell you what his name is. Like that's that bad. So we'll just stop there.
Okay.
Jillian, do you have anything that you want to say before the end of the show?
And I'll be nice and say thank you guys so much for having me, and I'm happy to have contributed to the dumpster fire.
Oh man, thank you for joining us, Jillian.
Would you want to come back?
Sorry, I had to get that in.
Would you want to come back before the playoffs, like a playoff preview? Yes. And I think I'll bring Arcade Regiment back and Odd Man Rush if he can make it, and we'll all just have like a couple episodes there.
Yeah, I could probably bring someone in too. I mean, I don't know. If we're adding a party, let's make it a party. Why not?
All right. Are you going to bring in Antonio Brown?
Maybe.
That was so good.
Mr. Big Chest. All right. I have nothing else to say other than, Jillian, it was an absolute pleasure. You killed it. Tree, good as always. All of you that contributed with the Snapchats, a.k.a. Super Chats. Everyone that's typing in EDP 777s. Anyone that's going to help bring Steve Dangle on the show, thank you all. You're all so lovely. Give yourselves a round of applause, just like sexual chocolate. All right, I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this stream filled with predators.